This woman made a very, very dumb tweet. And her tweet is in relation to this guy who is her husband, DC Capital. And yes, you're reading this correctly. He's a MAGA rapper. So his whole brand is that he raps about sucking Trump's dick all day. It's really creepy and weird. I listened to a couple of his songs, and hey, I'm gonna be completely honest. The beats, some of them were kind of fire, not gonna lie, all right? I kind of like the beats. But the actual rap, oh, god damn. His wife tweeted, "My husband today at the park screamed China virus." Okay, whatever. Here's the one I'm really hung up on though, okay? Yelled at our son because, quote, "a girl showed him up on the rock wall." I know that there are going to be some dumb fucks in the chat who are going to try and defend this before they even hear my position. Yelling at your son, disparaging your child in public because a girl showed him up on the rock wall, that actually is borderline sexist. Maybe the girl he lost to had been practicing and was just really good at rock climbing. We don't know. You don't even have to be a little like beta cuck libtard SJW soy boy to recognize that there's some sexism there. But worse, disparaging your son for not being tough enough and for getting showed up by a girl. That is damaging to their child's psychological well-being. So the fact that she would brag about this, and look, she even said, "it's all true, but I'm still embarrassed." So she even acknowledges that it was a little embarrassing. As someone with kids, I try to recognize things that could be emotionally abusive. One of the signs of a parent emotionally abusing their child is humiliating them and yelling at them. Both things I would say qualify here. This study was done by the Children's Society. It was a UK. Now, this study isn't that great. I'll be honest. I have another one I'm going to bring up in a second that is a little better than this. These findings show that many young people are living in highly gendered environments and place emphasis on traditional male or female stereotypes in their everyday lives. So this all right off the bat was interesting because I got in a fight with that dumb woman, and she was claiming that, "oh, the left is just making all the boys be wimpy and weak. Boo-hoo." Not really true, actually. I mean, if you really did a little bit of digging, you'll find that many young people are literally living in highly gendered environments. But anyway, this has a clear impact on young people's well-being. Children who chose being tough as the most important trait for boys, or having good clothes as the most important trait for girls, are shown to have the lowest well-being across the group. In fact, across the whole study, it was found that children whose friendship group emphasizes traditional gender roles and stereotypes have lower well-being than others. In contrast, children who chose the relatively gender-neutral trait, working hard at school, as the most important quality, scored highest for well-being. But even funnier, perhaps, forceful and dominant men who are hyper-fixated on this hyper-masculinity, men need to be stronger kind of shit, they're more likely to abuse women. So not only are you harming your own child's well-being by disparaging him and humiliating him publicly for being showed up by a girl, you're actually setting him up to have a higher likelihood of being abusive towards women. Men who adhere to rigid sexist stereotypes of how to be a man are more likely to use and tolerate violence against women. They may be familiar, these ideas have been backed up by a new report from Domestic Violence Not-for-Profit, Our Watch, which reviewed Australian and international research on masculinity, citing 374 sources. Many factors can reliably predict the risk of perpetuating violence. One key, and this is the kicker right here, one key set of factors is to do with masculinity. That is, the attitudes and behaviors stereotypically associated with being a man. There's nothing wrong with teaching your boy that he should go out and get a job and work hard and provide for his family. This is all fine and dandy. The problem is when you make it sound like you are lesser than a man because you're not adhering to your version of what it looks like to be a man. Long-standing ideals about manhood include ideas that men should be strong, forceful, and dominant in relationships and households. Men should be tough and in control, while women are lesser or even malicious and dishonest. That sounds very similar to what we're reading about on this dumb fuck tweet. I said, if this woman's piece of shit husband actually believed in teaching the Bible, he wouldn't disparage his son for losing to a girl. Not only is that unironically sexist, it's abusive considering that kind of talk negatively harms boys' mental health. We've now established this pretty well. And I actually got in a fight with this woman. Look, at more fathers need to be like this. Now, we kept arguing, right? I was like, it's been proven to harm boys' mental health. So why? Why should more fathers be like that? Men should be leaders and they should be strong. That isn't taught anymore. There's nothing wrong with each gender having a specific role. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing wrong with that, but there is something wrong when you disparage your son for not falling into your version of a manly gender role. We have a society of weak men and overly dominant women. So yeah, I mean, even this idea right here that like, she's, you guys got a little peek of my old OG Windows. Yeah. You guys like my old Windows XP background? Men who conform to these ideals are more likely to hit, abuse, coerce, and sexually harass women than men who see women as their equals. And it proves that this girl is like, she doesn't give a single flying fuck about her child, and neither does that MAGA retard fucking rapper guy either. They don't give a fuck about their child's well-being. And this girl proved it by saying, we have a society of weak men. Okay, so basically what you're saying is you're okay abusing your son's mental health as long as you own the libs. You know what? I would argue that that is just as fucking dumb as people that are like, the right is teaching rigid gender roles, so that's why I forced my son to wear a dress to school. This is like a level of derangement that is not only ignoring facts, ignoring data, but this is like arguably using your child as a political pawn also. So I said, you admit you're allowing your son to be mentally abused because men should be leaders? Huh? Why doesn't your husband be a leader and encourage his son to be better without being sexist and abusing his mental health? Idiot. So she said, it's not mental abuse to tell someone that they need to be better. That's not what your husband did. And I said, that isn't what your husband did. You keep pivoting because you know what your husband actually did is indefensible. And it's true also because she even fucking said it was embarrassing. And no offense, that's probably why you won't carry a great relationship your whole life. What? You don't know how to provide. Huh? And don't know your place. Whoa, okay. And therefore your partner won't either, and neither were your children. Well, I know this dumb woman's place is in a fucking classroom for spelling lessons. Okay, honey, have fun mentally abusing your son and defending it because the left wants boys to be weak. You don't realize how insane you sound. I hope you get therapy and your son gets better parents. And I stand by that. Nothing wrong with teaching boys like good traits of masculinity, but there is a problem when you disparage them publicly and humiliate them for being showed up to a girl. Multiple problems, as we've very clearly demonstrated. These people are wrong. They are parenting their children wrong. It's not an opinion, it is fact, okay? They are parenting their child wrong. It is arguably abusive. And the fact that they think it's because, well, the left is teaching boys to be weak, that is not an argument. It's like, just let your child be a child. If he wants to climb a rock wall and then loses to a girl, you can encourage him to work harder, but it doesn't have to be, oh, you're a failure because you lost to a girl, the weaker sex.